Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin and Business Bureau. As always, I'm your host, Litecoin Leader. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're not talking about altcoins, but we're talking about Bitcoin because it's been in the news so much. And I want to talk about some of the FUD, some of the use cases, and also connecting some of the dots, all the different stories that are out there to allude to possibly where we're headed in the future. Stay tuned. So this video is going to be a little bit different from what I normally do. Similar format, but I just wanted to share a few thoughts about some of the FUD that I've been seeing, a lot of different stories that are passing around, a lot of news for Bitcoin and a lot of news for cryptocurrency of late. I'm going to be very choice with my words for many reasons, but I just wanted to talk about the use case of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general and how that plays into a lot of the news that we're seeing these days. That's why I wanted to make this video, because it's very timely, I believe. So first off, use case. The Bitcoin use case and cryptocurrencies use cases. The important thing to understand is, what is a use case? A use case is why you would use something. So the use cases for cryptocurrencies, there's many of them. There's smart contracts that have use cases. That's not Bitcoin. There's currency and there's stores of value. And that's even outlined in this article here from the ledger.com that says the top two use cases are payments and store of value. They are separate. So when it comes to payments, you want to pick something that has a good supply and also is quick to transact. That is not what Bitcoin is at. Bitcoin is scarce and it takes a while to transact. Yes, there's the Lightning Network, but Bitcoin as a native crypto does not satisfy this use case. That would be more of a Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash, and there are several others that can solve this. Bitcoin's main use case is a store of value. That's why it's called digital gold. Gold is a store of value. When you walk into a store these days, you don't walk in with a pocket full of gold. You walk in with credit cards and cash. That's how it works right now. You don't walk around with gold or even silver. But cryptocurrencies can satisfy this, but that Bitcoin, since it's digital gold, that is not the purpose of Bitcoin. It is to store value over long periods of time to preserve wealth and also transact maybe between countries, as we're going to talk about in a minute. So this is probably the most interesting FUD that I need to really talk about and be careful with the choice of my words. Now, the former leader was recently quoted saying that Bitcoin just seems like a scam. Now, what this is, he's highlighting the full quote that highlights this. He said that essentially it's a currency competing against the dollar. The reason I want to highlight that phrase is because that is the wrong use case for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not competing against the US dollar. It's competing against gold as a preservation of wealth. Competing against the US dollar would be, again, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, other cryptocurrencies. That's not the use case for Bitcoin. So this represents to me that this individual is showing the wrong use case and a misunderstanding of the purpose of Bitcoin. So why is this information coming out this week? Well, for one thing, we just had the largest Bitcoin event in history in Miami with the Bitcoin 2021 conference. So there were a lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention focused on Bitcoin in particular, not just cryptocurrency, but in particular Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's price has gone down as of late. Again, that could be related to some of the FUD. But some of the other news that have come out is that not just one country, because we have El Salvador now talking about making Bitcoin a legal tender, and we need to watch the legislation closely here, because more than likely this is going to get ratified and passed in El Salvador, and they use the US dollar down there for their main currency. But they're going to approve not just Bitcoin, but all of cryptocurrency. So that will allow them to choose the right cryptocurrencies for the right use cases. They may use Bitcoin as a transactional entity with other countries and a store of value, but people in transactional currencies for their day-to-day to go to the store may use Bitcoin Cash, they may use Divi, they may use Litecoin. We'll have to see. But the legislation will adopt cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin. So El Salvador led the charge, and Panama and Paraguay are now looking to join in the party. So now we got three countries potentially talking about adopting Bitcoin as a national currency. So why is this all coming to a head, and what is the other loose end to tie off here as possible reasons why Bitcoin was mentioned by our former leader? Well, we had this story. So the Joint Task Force of the United States in their cyber security was able to recover over half of the ransomware from DarkSide. Now, how did they do this? They did not go into this, but really it speaks to is that part of the other use case of cryptocurrency is security. You have a immutable and irrefutable blockchain that people have to write to. So now you have these addresses and wallets that you can track and track down and find out where the payments went. And if the hackers are not that bright, they can easily find out what wallets the money went to and track them down. So that is also part of the use case and why Bitcoin may actually be used. So now we're actually seeing Bitcoin playing the role of the hero. This is a classic story like Rocky. Everybody is down on Bitcoin. Everybody says this is not going to work. And all of a sudden it starts to rise up because now like, oh, that's the right way to use it. Now it becomes the hero. So now Bitcoin can become the hero and saying we can stop these ransomware attacks because Bitcoin can be tracked unlike the US dollar or other currencies that are out there. So this is also highlighting the cybersecurity and cyber warfare recent additions to the U.S. government, which may lead to other uses of these entities, which may be pertinent in the U.S. right now. So I can't elaborate on that for obvious reasons, but I'll leave that for you to decide. Are there other major news items going on in the world and the United States that may actually benefit from improved cybersecurity and more homework done on the blockchain as to what really happened? So for today, I will leave it there. I'll close the drawer on the bureau, and I will see you next time.